Tuesdays, am I right, guys? Last week I tweeted out like a graph grading my Mavs viewing experience, player by player, who frustrates me the most, who am I most satisfied by. And at the time, I was going to make a video sort of going into more detail. I forgot about it, honestly. And I remember today, and I was like, do I have time to record a video about this? Yes, I don't have shit to do. So let's take a look at this graph right here. On the x-axis, we have our frustration, how frustrated we are. The further down the x-axis we go, the more frustrated. Y-axis is satisfaction. The higher up, the more satisfied we are. And yes, I did look that up before the start of the video. X-axis, Y-axis, I know I'm correct. Let's start with the least amount of frustration and the most amount of satisfaction. Frank Ntilikina. I feel like that's fair. You could say Boban. I have Boban just a little bit down. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I've been getting a little tired of Boban. And admittedly, it's not his fault. It's just every time the Mavs are losing or aren't playing well, I get like 20 fucking people who come into the chat like, oh my God, Boban should be playing 30 minutes a night. It's impossible to not like Boban. When the matchup is favorable, he comes in and he does the job and he plays well. But he just realistically has no business getting too many big minutes on any type of team, any type of serious team. Of course, you know, he did start a game 7 of the playoffs. Last year, he started a game 7. But I think Frank, you know, a vet minimum contract, he was going to be like the 15th man. People didn't even know if he was going to make the roster. And he's played really well so far, carved out a nice role for himself. And he's going to get some pretty big minutes, barring any big changes in this roster. He's going to get some big minutes for this team. So I got Frank right here. You know, it's impossible to not love Frank. Down here, we have Moses Brown, Josh Green, the two Texas legends. Josh Green, you guys know I loved him. You guys know I loved him to death. We had the Josh Green cam on stream. Anytime Josh Green did anything good, we would go immediately to the Josh Green cam. I just don't think he's an NBA player at this point. I love his hustle. I love whenever he's down there, he hustles. I think he does play good defense. His defensive instincts are really good. His offensive game is just so far behind, man. I just don't know if he's ever going to be an NBA player because of it. Moses Brown, whenever this trade went down, Josh Richardson for Moses Brown, I was shocked that the Mavericks got anything of value for Josh Richardson. But I have a buddy who's an Oklahoma City Thunder fan. He texted me immediately and said, yo, Moses Brown kind of sucks. And, you know, I don't think he's great, but he's a raw prospect, still a young player. He's done very good in the G League. He went down to the G League a couple nights ago, played really, really well. I think my thing, and most other Mavs fans as well, I've seen other people talk about this, we would rather see Moses Brown go out there and fail as a young, raw prospect than watch Dwight Powell or Willie Cauley-Stein do whatever the hell it is they do on a nightly basis. And speaking of Dwight Powell, where is it? Oh, there he is. There's that guy way over there. What's he doing? What are you looking at, Dwight Powell? Way over there at the end of the frustration scale. There's Willie Cauley-Stein in there at the bottom too. Dwight Powell and Willie Cauley-Stein seem like cool people, right? Willie Cauley-Stein, maybe the most drippiest player on the Mavericks. It's either him, Dorian, or Tim, the most drippy players on the Mavericks. But what does he do? You know, every player on the roster for the Mavs, minus like maybe Sterling Brown, who's right here, pretty high on the frustration scale. Sterling Brown just does nothing for me, right? Every player on the Mavericks, I can at least pinpoint a moment in time where I was like, oh my God, this player did something great, and this player's played really good for us so far. Willie Cauley-Stein, like, I don't remember any real positive memories. And I know that sounds really harsh, but that's just the reality. Here's Trey Burke at the end of the frustration scale, too. Just a horrible contract, really. Donnie Nelson should be in prison. Jalen Brunson towards the top of the satisfaction meter, not too far down the frustration scale either. Granted, that's probably going to change. If he gets a big contract for the Mavs this offseason, you know, there's going to be bigger expectations from him to perform as well as he's performed so far this season on a consistent basis. And, you know, the Mavs, there's sort of a blessing and a curse for the Mavs because they can't really extend him until free agency starts. So Jalen Brunson's going to have an opportunity to go out and explore the market and see what offers he gets. And while that is scary, it might end up being a good thing for the Mavs because let's not sugarcoat it. He was pretty terrible against the Clippers, right? So if Brunson goes out in the playoffs again this season and sort of, you know, shits his pants yet again, then maybe it's time to either move on or maybe the market won't be as competitive for Brunson as we think it will be right now. Here's Kleber right here. Just, you know, Kleber, you know who he is, right? He's not going to frustrate you too much. He plays good defense. He shoots the three. The most frustrating thing with Kleber is when he doesn't shoot the three. You know, he has stretches where it seems like he just loses complete and total confidence in himself and he just stops shooting. There's Tim Hardaway, you know, a little bit further down on the frustration side of things, just because when his shots aren't falling, you know, it's pretty ugly. But when his shots are falling, he's just literally one of the most unguardable players in the NBA. He brings a ton of energy. He's gotten a lot better in recent years of bringing more to the table than just jump shooting. You know, his game off the dribble has been a lot better lately. I talked about this during streams. When he's pumped up and he's excited and he's screaming, there's no player on the Mavs that brings that level of energy that Tim does. Reggie Bullock and Dorian Finney-Smith pretty close to one another. Reggie Bullock, I'm not gonna lie to you, man, he's starting to slide on that frustration scale a little bit. He really needs to start hitting his threes. He's shooting like 32% from three so far this season. That's got to go up. Dorian too, low key. I mean, Dorian has moments offensively where it's like, dude, what are you thinking, man? Like, why would you dribble it into a triple team like that? It just seems like in transition, or if he has the ball trying to drive, like the brain just shuts off entirely. It's impossible to not love Dorian. I mean, the energy he brings to the team. There are not too many people in the league I'm picking in a fight over Dorian Finney-Smith. There's KP. Whenever I first posted this picture, KP was on the very end of the frustration scale. He was barely even visible in the picture. But he's played really, really good since coming back from injury. So I slided him a little bit more down there. KP is healthy and playing well. He unlocks a new level for this team. We all are aware of this. And, you know, KP defenders are taking their victory lap currently, as they should. He's played great over the last 5 games. But I think it's still a little too early to take a victory lap, okay? I've been very pessimistic towards KP. I'm going to be honest with you. I've straight up said I'm ready to move on from him no matter what the cost. And I would love to be wrong. But let's go ahead and wait until KP has a full playoff series where he's healthy and contributing at a high level before we take any victory laps and before KP haters eat their crow, okay? Let's just wait a little tiny bit. And then here's Luka. I have Luka pretty far down on the frustration scale, honestly, just because he can be a very, very frustrating player. And the start of this season has been very frustrating for Luka. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because, you know, we're all sort of starting to expect MVP level things from him. The expectations are a lot higher now. He just signed his super max, the biggest rookie max extension of all time. It's just frustrating when he's, you know, moping around the court or throwing passes behind his head that are backcourt violations, or taking 360 no-scope threes in close games when he could, you know, drive and get better looks. So whenever he's on, his shots are falling and he's playing aggressively. We know he's a top 5, top 6 player in the world. So I don't want to go too hard on Luka. Obviously, he is the team. And who else am I forgetting? Oh yeah, there's Dwight Powell, way over there. Hey Dwight, this is my chart. The Mavs have been playing well lately, so you know there's not too much frustration going on here outside of the centers. I mean, is it the worst center rotation in the NBA? I was just thinking about this before I started recording. Is it? I'm thinking like the Thunder, Derek Favors has been pretty bad, but I think James Robinson Earl would be the best center on the Mavs. Like, am I crazy for thinking that? Let me know what you guys think of this little graph right here. Who would you have where? Who's the most frustrating player on the Mavericks? You guys subscribe to the channel. We stream every single Mavericks game. You don't want to miss it. You never know what you're going to see in the stream. It's madness. Talk to you later. Goodbye.